Hi, Carly for Proav TV, and here's our list of the 5 main reasons that our customers choose the Canon C200. So the first big reason is, of course, autofocus. Canon's dual pixel autofocus is one of the most talked about things with Canon's new cameras in their Cinema EOS line. That's because it really is fantastically useful. It's the first video autofocus system that we really think is truly professional and can be relied on and depended on by professionals, particularly for things like interviews and stuff like that. Having the ability to just lock onto a face and track it, whether you're at f8 or whether you're at f1.2. For example, it's what I use for these interviews. So as I move closer or as I move further away, the C300 Mark II that we're using here is going to be focusing on me. The C200 is exactly the same, but it's possibly the most controllable out of all of Canon's cameras. And the reason is this, the Canon's touchscreen. With the C300, you need to use the joystick on the side, on the body, or on the monitor to move the focus point around and control the forward focus system. With the C200, it's as simple as touching on the screen. And even if you're not wanting to rely on autofocus all the time, you can still use this autofocus technology. Even if you're using manual cinema lenses and stuff like that, it's still really helpful because Canon have developed an autofocus manual focus assist. So what that does is it uses the autofocus technology, puts the box either locked onto a face with face detect or where you touch on the screen, and then it has 2 sets of triangles at the top and at the bottom, and it will help you line up your shot so that the camera recognizes what's in focus. It tells you which way to focus, how far to focus, and when you're in focus, so you don't have to dip in and out to find your focus or punch in or anything like that. The camera's doing the work for you and is telling you when you're in focus and when you're not. It's just such a useful system for working professionals, and it's one of people's favorite features about Canon's cinema lineup. One of the biggest surprises when Canon launched the C200 was the addition of what they call Cinema Raw Lite. This is the first time that Canon have put a RAW codec directly into one of their cameras. The C700 was able to do RAW, but only with a codec back on the back. The C200 can do it all inbuilt in the camera onto CFast cards. In fact, the C200 is a lot like 2 cameras in one. You get the small, convenient MP4 files with long record times and really easy to work with in post. And then you get the really high quality RAW files, much larger, a little bit more difficult and time consuming in post, but gives you a lot more flexibility. So one of the things that people really like about this camera is the ability to go from 2 ends of the extreme. You can use it on a small event type work where you're just running around grabbing as much as you can, chucking together an edit, getting it out really quickly with the MP4 files, or you can do a full-blown commercial style shoot with the RAW. In fact, the RAW recording is one of the highest quality modes and highest quality video that I've seen from a Canon camera yet. So despite the low price point relatively in Canon's lineup of the C200, it really, really packs a punch. One of the first things that many of our customers notice when they come into the showroom to physically try a C200 for the first time is the build quality. The Canon's build quality on all their cameras has always been great, and here is no exception. It's a very strong, sturdy camera. Everything about the build on this camera screams of high quality manufacturing. From the grip to the top handle, it's all very strong and secure. But some of the things that people miss on this camera from some of the competitors like the EVA or the FS5 is a rotating hand grip. But the reason that Canon did that was for strength and rigidity. Like, this hand grip is not going anywhere once it's tightened. There's absolutely no risk of the camera flopping or anything like that, regardless of how big you rig this up. It's based on an Arri rosette and it's very strong and sturdy. As with the top handle, there's 2 screws in for the top handle here, and it really is strong and stable and secure. It's not going anywhere. A lot of our customers are in and out of cars all the time, in and out of bags all the time. They're on the run, they're solo shooters, and they need their kit to be able to go wherever they go and be able to cope with whatever they chuck at it. So high quality build quality is really important to a lot of them. And the C200 is no disappointment. It's very strong, very sturdy. It's a video production workhorse. Colour science has always been a huge strength of Canon's. People often talk about the way that colours look straight out of the camera. That could be the skin tones or the way that cameras handle red, things like that. Canon normally hits the nail on the head when it comes to colour science. Yes, with any manufacturer's cameras you can make them look good as long as you're willing to take the time to post, but the key thing with Canon is that without having to do that much work in post-production, you already start with good colours. Canon includes several gammas and look profiles that help you with that in camera. There's nice non-log profiles, so ones that are ready to go straight away and without any grading at all. EOS standard is very punchy, very contrasty, and tends to be a bit of a wow punchy look. And then there's YDR, which holds a good amount of dynamic range, but still looks good straight out of camera. Then there's the log profile, so there's the original Canon log, which is a bit more contrasty than some of the other logs, but a lot easier to work with. And then there's Canon log 2 and Canon log 3 to really get the most out of this camera and eke all the dynamic range that you can out of it. They're again a bit easier than some of the other competitors, but they'll be the hardest log out of this to grade out of any of the in-camera options here, but they really do give you that flexibility. I often hear customers coming back to Canon cameras time and time again because of the colour science. Because you get both the high quality RAW recording onto CFast 2 cards and the smaller files, the MP4 files, onto dual SD cards here at the back, a lot of people think about the C200 as two cameras in one, and I think that really rings true. On one side you've got that high quality RAW recording, which is really up there and good enough for narrative work, for high-end commercials or corporate work, things like that. It really is fantastic quality. And then on the other half, you've got the 8-bit MP4 files, which are perfect for sort of long interviews or events work like weddings, things like that. Anything where you need to grab as much as you can in a high quality 4K, nice recording file format, but you need long record times and onto 2 card slots for redundancy. Events, documentaries, things like that, the MP4 files are going to be perfect for you. In some ways, that MP4 half of the camera is an update to their C100 line, whereas the RAW side of the camera onto the CFast card is like a small light B camera to their high-end flagship camera, the C700. It is really interesting, this 2 cameras in one mentality that Canon have put into this, and I think it's really key to understanding this camera. So that was our list of the 5 main reasons that our customers choose the C200. Let us know what you think. Have you bought the camera? Why did you choose it? Or if you're thinking about the camera, if you've got any questions at all, just contact our sales team or leave a comment down below and I'll do my best to get back to you. Do you think we've missed anything off the list? Let me know. Let's start a conversation. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.